6 strange and hard to believe yet completely true facts that only exist in Laos. Greetings to all friends, elders, and dear brothers and sisters near and far who have come to explore this mysterious universe. Today, we will take everyone to explore the beautiful country of Laos. Just hearing its name brings back a flood of memories, the sturdy Lao sandals. The Lao tobacco is richly fragrant and deep in flavor, accompanied by the Lao wind, both scorching and strangely harsh. But wait, when it comes to Laos, have we all ever really thought about this country? Not just remote forests or secluded villages, but even the capital is sinking into slumber, out of sync with modern life, isn't it? Sleepy country. But did you know? Everything is changing, and that change comes so unexpectedly. How is Laos changing? What mysteries and fascinating things does this country hold? Join me as we explore 6 bizarre and unbelievable yet completely true facts about Laos in this video. There are things few people know about, even for those who have visited this country. From unique customs and breathtaking natural landscapes to the remarkably friendly local people. Just hearing about it sounds fascinating, doesn't it? What are you waiting for? Sit down properly, grab a bag of snacks and a glass of iced tea, then enjoy to your heart's content. Because I often journey through the land of sleep, I never know the feeling of drowsiness. This will keep surprising you, one delightful shock after another. The man has to live with his wife's family as a live-in son-in-law. In our country, from past to present, the mere mention of a man marrying into his wife's family has made many people stick out their tongues and shake their heads in dismay. Family. Who the hell made this rule anyway? Simply because the old belief held that men must be the pillars, must bear the burdens, and must bring their wives home to their own house to be considered proper. That makes sense, but do we ever stop for a moment and look at the outside world to see how others are living? Right next door to us, can you believe it? In their country, the groom actually moves into the bride's house after the wedding. How unusual. Not forced at all, but completely voluntary, and what? On the wedding day, the groom donned a dashing suit, a mirror slung over his shoulder, looking truly majestic, while holding a large ceremonial bouquet, escorted by a lively crowd of relatives and friends as if part of a festive procession. He walked up to his wife's front door, having to stand on a flat rock covered with banana leaves and marigold flowers. All right, wait for my sister-in-law to bring out some water to wash your feet first, but don't think that means you can just walk right in. If you want to enter, you'll have to pay a fee too. Why does this sound like a folk game? But in essence, this is an extremely meaningful ritual, showing respect for the bride's family, while also conveying a sincere message that I came here not only to marry your daughter, but also to live, work, and become part of your family. Interestingly, after the wedding, the groom doesn't just leave. He stays at his wife's home to live together, help the family, manage household tasks, and sometimes even remains there for 1 to 2 years. At this moment, it's not just about strengthening family bonds but also showing a sense of responsibility, with no distinction between host and guest. In Laos, men often spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Even though street food is very diverse, most of them still prefer to cook by themselves. It can be said that in Laos, cooking is a survival skill for men, not solely a woman's responsibility. Family, such as among certain age, clear that getting married doesn't. So, sisters, don't worry or sigh in fear of getting married and having to be a daughter-in-law. Just smile and dream of a happy, free life like the women in Laos. Here are 3 natural English translations corresponding to the styles you mentioned. Exquisite Western antique restoration, down to the finest details. When people think of Laos, they often immediately picture ancient temples with curved roofs covered in moss, where the rhythmic chanting of prayers echoes through the hazy veil of incense smoke. But if you look closer, you'll notice something very interesting. Most Westerners wear 1 or more colorful string bracelets around their necks. And so, a flood of questions rushed into my mind. This string for? Is it supposed to be tied? What? Q&A twist and turn. But hold on, don't let your curiosity get the better of you and rush to bombard a tour guide with questions. I'll delve a bit deeper into the Thai tradition of wrist tying, also known as the Su Cone ceremony. A unique spiritual custom of the people from the land of a million elephants. Just a simple ritual, This ceremony is held on many important occasions, from birthdays and housewarmings to grand openings, weddings, birthdays, recovery from illness, or farewells and welcomes for those traveling far. Each thread tied around the wrist carries a blessing, becoming a bond that connects souls, carrying love and hope. When you take part in the thread tying ceremony, you'll feel a sacred warmth, an indescribable closeness. The officiant, usually an elderly person or a monk, will sit beside the altar, which is carefully prepared with all the offerings such as wine, boiled chicken, sticky rice, fruits, or eggs. The altar is beautifully adorned, resembling a small tower. The candles are lit, prayers are spoken, and everyone gathers close together. If you're sitting too far to touch the sapling, gently place your hand on the shoulder of the person in front of you. And so, the flow of blessings will pass from one person to another. When the thread is tied around your wrist, you'll feel truly fortunate, more connected, and welcomed as part of the community. The left hand holds the thread, the right hand rests on the plant's sprout. The one tying the thread whispers sincere and joyful blessings. Each thread is usually tied with 3 knots, as if to hold onto 3 blessings. Remember, don't cut the thread away. After a few days of use, if you find it inconvenient, you can gently remove each button and store them in your wallet, purse, or car. Consider it a way to keep good luck with you for a long time. Try tying a wrist thread when visiting Laos. This is not just a beautiful and sacred ritual, but also a way to immerse yourself in the local culture. You will feel your own smallness, yet at the same time, sense yourself embraced by the warmth of faith and human kindness in this foreign land. You can visit Laos to admire its ancient temples, savor the distinctive Laos sticky rice, or take memorable photos by the picturesque Mekong River. But when you have to leave that place, what you'll miss the most is the moment someone carefully wraps a thread around your wrist and softly whispers warm wishes of peace. Have you ever tied a string around your wrist? If not, save that experience for your upcoming trip to Laos. The Plain of Jars remains a mystery that puzzles scientists. Has anyone heard of the vast Plain of Jars, nestled in the remote highlands of Laos? It may sound like a joke, but this is actually one of the strangest and most dangerous archaeological sites on the planet, the Plain of Jars in Chiang Mai. Over 2,000 stone jars are scattered across the Muang Phuong Plateau, a place whose very name sends shivers down the spine with its aura of mystery and lurking dangers. Now, let's try to imagine a little bit together. Amid the silent fields, thousands of massive stone jars suddenly appear, each as large as a bed and weighing several tons, scattered haphazardly everywhere. Some are half buried in the ground, while others stand upright as if waiting for something mysterious. Some are so large that even adults can't wrap their arms around them, while others are as small as a wooden barrel. These works are carved from granite, sometimes sandstone, types of rock containing quartz, feldspar, and mica. These are all stubborn materials, very difficult to work with. Yet about 1,500 to 2,000 years ago, the ancients accomplished that miraculous feat. Tell me, how could they have moved and carved thousands of jars like this in the middle of this wilderness? It is rumored that this place was used to store ashes after cremation, as there are many bone urns and burial artifacts scattered around. But some also speculate that perhaps they used them to drink rice wine or hold food. That makes sense, since the jar is so big. But the strange thing is, out of thousands, only one had a lid. So what about the rest? Who made them? Perhaps a Mon Khmer group or some ancient civilization once existed here before vanishing without a trace. The deeper you dig, the more absurdities you uncover. And it is precisely these unsolved mysteries that have made the Plain of Jars an alluring destination for both archaeologists and adventure-seeking travelers. Rush to make a. Here lies not only mystery but also lurking terrors. Do you know, currently about 35% of this area still contains unexploded ordnance, a lingering legacy of the fierce wars of the past. Tens of thousands of bombs lie dormant beneath the thin layer of soil. No one knows when they might suddenly awaken. Even the locals have to watch their every step, let alone tourists. If you're only coming here to take Instagrammable photos, you might want to think twice. Beauty and uniqueness sometimes come at a steep price, even at the cost of one's life. Instead of that, why don't we sit down together and use our curiosity and imagination to safely explore this mysterious field? I believe that, even if one day science may uncover the true purpose of these giant stone jars, sitting there, listening to their stories in that mystical space, both ancient and overwhelming, still makes my heart race just like the first time. What about you? Can you guess what those jars were used for? Amid this barren, war-torn land, who could have created such a magnificent stone marble? Feel free to share your thoughts by commenting below. Capture beautiful, alluring girls to take as wives. Wife capturing. A girl is like a banyan leaf. When the wind blows, she must fall straight to her husband's home. Don't be quick to judge just by hearing the name. Due to the bride kidnapping custom of the Lao people, especially in the Vietnam-Laos border area. This is a unique cultural trait, deeply imbued with humanistic values, and not at all vulgar as many people mistakenly perceive. Does that sound strange to you? Then let's explore how the bride kidnapping tradition in Laos differs. Wanting to marry isn't as simple as just liking someone. Here, the wife capturing custom is a carefully planned and meticulously organized process, not some reckless act done haphazardly just to get it over with. The groom's family needs to meet and discuss to reach a consensus, and the plan can only proceed once everyone agrees. It's not just a lovesick guy pining alone. There, on the night of the bride capture, when the entire village had fallen into a deep, death-like slumber, the young man quietly called the girl outside. This was the most crucial moment. If the girl steps forward, smiles, and nods in agreement, that's wonderful. The two will go home to hold the wedding. But if she hesitates or refuses, the young man will carry her away immediately. It sounds like something out of a movie, but this is a real custom. If the bride resists being carried, the groom's family will simply rush in and carry her away by force. Oh, so not necessarily with hugging. Actually, girls often have a vague sense of it beforehand, they just don't say it out loud. Typically, after a few days of detaining the girl to test her sincerity, if she truly does not agree to the marriage, she is still allowed to return home normally. No one forces her to marry. Times have changed. There's no more of that old custom of carrying the bride by hand like in the past. The motorbike is ready, and the young man will take the girl home. To prevent her from dozing off on the way, they decide to have another person sit behind to keep an eye on her, just to be safe. When the groom's family arrived home, the family had prepared a beautifully decorated room and a lavish feast to celebrate. The table was filled with wine, meat, boiled chicken, and the lively atmosphere buzzed with cheerful chatter. S family will bring gifts to the bride. At that time, the two families finally began sitting down to seriously discuss marriage arrangements. Speaking of this, we cannot overlook the Moc Chau Love Market held on September 2nd, a gathering that attracts not only Vietnam's Hmong compatriots but also the ethnic Lao people. The Han Yi ethnic people from China also eagerly flocked in. Everyone was dressed in their finest outfits, chatting and laughing merrily, eagerly searching for a wife or being roped into becoming a husband. The ethnic girls looked so beautiful, with rosy cheeks and long hair tied in braids. Just one glance and you're already enchanted. She's the one I'm going to marry. Merely for marriage, They loved each other sincerely, married properly with respect, customs, and culture. If you have the chance to visit the highlands, especially the Vietnam-Laos border area during the September festival season, don't be surprised if you come across a lively and cheerful wife capturing scene. Also get lost in someone. If you think Lao cuisine is only about the savory lard, fragrant sticky rice, or golden grilled chicken by the fiery charcoal stove, I'm sorry to hear that you. Laos is not only famous for its delicious and rustic dishes but also boasts a treasure trove of unique specialties that never fail to amaze. But it sparks a curiosity so intense it's irresistible. Just hearing this gets you all fired up, doesn't it? Let's join hands and explore the adventurous culinary landscape of Laos, where bravery is put to the test. The feast began with a dish whose name alone evoked the rich aroma of wood. Goi go to you. It's surprising how many people wonder. They use a precious wood called pepperwood, diced into small cubes, and then cooked together with soups. This type of wood becomes soft after being cooked, making it easy to chew and swallow. But also creates a slight tingling sensation on the tip of the tongue, similar to when enjoying spicy candy. At first it sounds a bit strange, but after trying it, it's actually quite interesting. Some are so addicted that they grind wood into powder and secretly mix it into their food. Be quick to think you, because the next dish coming up is something that will surely make many of you reconsider your passion for culinary exploration. That's a giant vinegar-dipped beef dish, not for the faint of heart. At some restaurants in Vientiane, the legendary green papaya salad is still served. You'll get an extra large water bottle, proudly sitting on top. No joke, It's so big that your jaw will get tired from chewing before you finish it. The shell is extremely tough, and the flavor isn't anything special either, but the real challenge lies in the spirit, not the taste. Many people try it once just to know, then never come back. Wait, there's more. When you hear about the next dish, I bet many of you will jump out of your skin. Cha Fan Tam. But to be fair, this is an extremely special type of dessert. Only at the OK Pop Talk Center in Luang Prabang, where people both raise silkworms for silk and harvest their droppings to make cha, organic fertilizer. It sounds scary, but the taste is surprisingly refreshing and very easy to drink. Upon learning the truth, many suddenly found they no longer wanted to drink. But if you dare to try, this will surely be an unforgettable experience in your culinary journey. And finally, let's give a round of applause for this special whole roasted goose. Exactly, it's grilled whole hive, meaning the bees inside are left intact. I'm not sure if they're. This dish is commonly sold at Luang Prabang Market, along with fresh honey and crispy fried honeycomb. They tried it all saying. The dish has a rich, creamy flavor with a delightful nutty chewiness, perfectly blended with the sweet, fragrant aroma of honey. Who could resist? If one day you have the chance to visit Laos, a country renowned not only for its ancient temples but also for its rich and unique traditional culture. An adventurous eater and want to test your bravery through cuisine, don't eat anything. Laos, the beautiful land of a million elephants, with serene and gentle natural landscapes. Yet it still holds an air of mystery and unique cultural charm. Although Laos is a close and friendly neighbor of Vietnam, there are still many interesting differences to keep in mind when visiting. If you don't fully grasp the issue, you might end up in situations that are both awkward and amusing. First of all, if you prefer closeness and intimacy, you might really want to shake hands or put your arm around a local woman's waist to show closeness. But in Laos, this is considered taboo. Don't be surprised if that action is seen as disrespectful, especially with girls who aren't close. Putting an arm around their waist or shoulder could be seen as a tactless move. I understand that many of us often have the habit of acting that way when in Western countries. But in Laos, that is considered disrespectful to the local culture. And if you engage in this behavior at massage spas or resorts, you could be reported to the police. One thing many travelers often overlook: when taking photos with locals, you need to pay special attention to your manners. Remember, in the culture of the elderly, crossing your arms in front of them or placing your hands on their shoulders may be seen as disrespectful. When taking a photo with a beautiful girl, you should place your hands behind your back or cross them in front of your chest for a natural and polite pose. Under no circumstances should you violate this rule, or you will face immediate consequences. And surely that brought no joy at all. Additionally, you must pay attention to one extremely important rule: never touch the head of an elder. No matter how close or familiar you are, this action is still an insult, especially to men. Here is the English translation of your text. Therefore, you should absolutely never touch or pat someone else's head, especially if they are a stranger. When it comes to taboos in Laos, you should absolutely avoid bothering the locals if they don't want you touching their belongings. Perhaps it's a sacred object to them, or an enchanted item. Therefore, if someone refuses to let you touch their belongings, don't insist. Respect the personal space and privacy of the Lao people. That's what you should do. Another thing you should pay attention to when visiting Laos is how to behave when touring temples. Laos is a country with a strong Buddhist culture, so when entering a temple, you need to pay special attention to proper etiquette. Do not wear revealing clothing, use profanity, or engage in excessive joking within the temple. Most importantly, you must never turn your back toward the Buddha statue and must strictly follow the rules stated on the prohibition signs. Be foolish and try to take photos inside the temple if there. In terms of traffic, this might make you feel completely bewildered. In Laos, car horns are rarely used. Even the locals seldom honk when driving. If you keep honking loudly like in Vietnam, the Lao people will find it very annoying and won't understand why you're acting that way. Moreover, the people of Laos participate in traffic very orderly and civilly. People are usually considerate of one another, so pushing and rushing are rare sights. You should also note that when crossing the road, Laotians are usually very cautious. They patiently wait until all vehicles have passed before crossing, rather than suddenly darting out like many of us often do. Finally, There's something strange yet incredibly important when you pass by a village in Laos and come across a special rope or symbol at the village entrance. That might be a sign foretelling a day of abstinence or a major village event, such as a strange epidemic or someone's passing. Therefore, if you notice this sign, it's best not to attempt entering the village. These rules might surprise you a bit, but to the Lao people, they are deeply sacred and important beliefs. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Dear friends, recently we have explored the unique features of the beautiful country of Laos together. Not only does this place possess breathtaking beauty, but it also holds countless mysteries that leave anyone in awe. And you, what is it about Laos that stays with you forever? Is it the ancient moss-covered temples, the endless stretches of lush green rice fields, or the colorful legends shrouded in mystery? Please leave your comment below. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. That mysterious universe always holds countless wonders, fresh stories, and exciting discoveries waiting for you to explore. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. It's been a joy to share these wonderful adventures together. Now, goodbye for now. See you all in the upcoming videos.